What the?
Oh my god!
Oh.
Purge all evil.
Oh my.
You ever notice how hard it is to be surprised anymore? Like really surprised. Not the kind where you see a bad quality 140p teaser and pretend to be shocked 2 weeks later when the official post goes up. I mean the real thing, a genuine out of nowhere moment where everyone in the room collectively goes sicko mode. Yeah, those are rare now. We live in a time where the spoiler hits your timeline before the reveal even gets a chance to breathe. Beta footage drops faster than PR statements, and every game release comes with a side order of who leaked it first discourse. Gacha fans especially. We are basically speedrunning our own excitement. We don't wait for announcements. We mine them, scrape them off the test servers, pass them around like your mother in a function, and the worst part, we act like it's normal. But today, something broke that loop. Wuthering Waves didn't just reveal a new character, they ambushed the entire player base. They dropped Cartethyia, the most anticipated character from the new 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 region, out of nowhere, fully rendered, fully animated, and sent it directly to 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁. Not their own dev livestream, not the official Chinese blog in Bilibili, not a slow rollout across 3 accounts, hell no! They called the Game Awards guy, and just like that, they beat the leakers at their own game. And now Cartethyia was already a hot topic before this. Beta speculation, story breadcrumbs, design leaks, blah blah blah, you name it. But this was different. This was controlled chaos. A clean surgical level dropped straight into the most watched timeline in gaming. You couldn't miss it even if you tried. It hit Twitter, Reddit, Discord, Facebook, and instantly become the new gold standard for how gacha reveals should feel. And the best part, for once, we all saw it together as a community. But the story behind this reveal goes way deeper than just marketing brilliance. Kuro Games didn't wake up one day and decide to play 4D chess for fun. This was a response, a very loud, very intentional response to a long-running problem they have been quietly wrestling with behind the scenes. Let's dive into it. So how did we even get here, right? Simple, the cycle is broken. Gacha game marketing used to be about mystery. A teaser would drop, maybe a single line of dialogue or a blurry silhouette with just enough detail to light up theorycraft threads. And for a brief moment, we all got to speculate together. But that window doesn't exist anymore nowadays. The second the beta starts, it's like a dam breaks. Skill kits, enemy footage, unreleased cutscenes, dumped online before the files are even stable. And by now, it is expected. Entire Twitter accounts have grown massive just off of mining and posting unreleased content. Subreddits have daily threads devoted to it. Some people even treat it like pre-launch content. And sure, it does build hype, but at what cost? Because what we have traded for early access is that shared experience, that rush of discovering something together, gone. Replaced it with, oh yeah, we have already saw that 2 weeks ago in low res from a beta leak. That moment doesn't hit anymore. It's not a reveal, it is a formality. That quiet erosion of surprise, it is not just a marketing issue, it's a community problem. And when a game like Wuthering Waves is trying to build an identity around art direction, world building, and momentum, that kind of erosion eats away at everything. And I think Kuro is very aware of that. You can tell they have enough. A few weeks ago, it all came to a head. An internal employee from the research room division, no less, was caught recording unreleased character footage directly off his monitor. Not even a screen capture, just a straight up phone footage. Sent it to the private friend group and probably thinking that it would stay private. Well, it didn't, because one of them is a snitch. They leaked it to the public and the fallout was immediate. The guy was fired on the spot, no second chances. Kuro also hit him with a fine and then went a step further. They reported him to the authorities. Article 219 of China's criminal law, that is the one that covers leaking trade secrets. Up to 3 years in prison. And yeah, they confirmed legal action is actually being taken. And here's the thing, this isn't just performative, this isn't some vague, we will look into it response like some studios give. Kuro has been like this from the beginning. 6 months ago, they put out a statement warning people that they would start taking legal action against unauthorized distribution. They weren't bluffing. This isn't a slap on the wrist, it is a scorched earth. Some people said that this felt extreme, but if you watch how these leaks affect the game's momentum, how they fracture the hype cycle and ruin key reveals, it kind of makes sense. This wasn't just about punishing one guy, it was about sending a message, not to the leakers, but maybe even to their own staff. We are done playing nice, well, basically. Because when your whole business model relies on timing, on moments, and on building a community through shared discovery, leaks are aren't just an inconvenience, they are sabotage. But you need to understand that these leakers, they won't just give up so easily. Even if the police is included, they are like cockroaches. They just won't die and they just keep going, they keep going. So instead of chasing leaks, Kuro does the unthinkable. They leak the damn thing themselves, but not through a tweet, not through a dev live stream. They sent it straight to Jeff Keighley. Yes, the Game Awards Jeff Keighley. Summer Game Fest Jeff Keighley. The man who announces like 30 world premieres per event, half of which are usually paid expansions and the other half are like Hideo Kojima mood boards. But still, he is a megaphone. And more importantly, he is legit. Kuro hands him a full 360 gameplay rotation showcase of Cartethyia. None of that leaker watermark, no blurry cam, just clean cinematic footage premiered to millions through one of the most recognizable faces in gaming media. That is not a leak, that is a precision airstrike on a leaker community. And it worked. No early data miners, no Reddit crumbs, no cryptic leaks showing up at 2 a.m. Instead, the first time they see Cartethyia was in crisp HD through an official pipeline hyped up by someone with actual reach. It is the difference between a back alley spoiler thread and a red carpet premiere. And people noticed because for once, the surprise hit. That electric realization moment wasn't stolen by a screenshot. It landed when it was supposed to, during the official reveal, and the internet lit up. Honestly, this is the kind of 10-head marketing move more gacha studios need to consider. Not just because it cuts the leakers off at the knees, but because it puts the spotlight back where it should be, on the game, not the drama. And the character they chose for this wasn't a minor addition either. Cartethyia is the most main character energy Kuro has ever put into a 5-star. From the very first frame, she reads like a flagship. Crispy swordplay, voice delivery sharp enough to cut a marble, and then mid-combat, she transforms, literally, into 𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗁, her alt form with a new stance, upgraded animations, and this 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 style nuke that just bodies the entire screen. The comparisons to Saber from Fate were instant. The hair, well, they're both blonde. The stance, the divine sword energy, it is all there. And the timing could not have been funnier, because just as Cartethyia gameplay was dropping, Honkai Star Rail was announcing its actual collab with Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. But here's the kicker. Cartethyia, a completely original character, ends up having more impactful, more cinematic Excalibur moment than Saber herself. People on Twitter were clowning. I saw takes like, Wuthering Waves just did Fate better than Fate. HSR Saber collab got announced and instantly mocked by Cartethyia. That line where she said, "Oceans bow before me" line.
Oceans bow before me.
And unironically harder than all of the voice actors in HSR that is not voicing the English dub anymore. It became a meme, and not in a bad way either. And now, to be fair, it is not just Saber. Cartethyia actually draws heavy inspiration from Bianca Stigmata from Punishing Grey Raven, another Kuro Games title. Bianca was doing Divine Blade transformations years ago, and honestly, she walks so Cartethyia could unsheath a skyscraper. But what makes Cartethyia different, what elevates her, is the feel of the gameplay. Her boss fight was already insane, but the playable version, somehow even better. That never happens in these games. Not just in gacha, in all of these games. Usually when you unlock a boss character, they get neutered. Animations get slowed down, elemental effects get toned down, and it ends up being like you bought the dollar store version of the hype. But Cartethyia cooked. Every swing has weight. The transition to 𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗁 was actually elevating, and the second ult, full-on anime finisher. No quick cutaways, no recycled camera tricks. It hits like a final scene. It has impact frames and everything, bro. People were switching lanes instantly. Jinshi, I don't want to play with her anymore. The reactions were just unfiltered hype. The memes, the edits, the VA appreciation tweets, like half the community is just simping now. And it's not even quiet. And that is what makes this moment sting a little too, because we don't get many like it. When everyone sees the same footage at the same time, no spoilers, no leaks, it hits different. This wave is what makes being part of the gaming community actually fun. Leaks don't just spoil surprises, they rob you of shared moments. Cartethyia was one of the rare cases where we all got to witness the same lightning strike, and man, it made all the difference. You know what's funny though, because for once, I actually got to experience a reveal live. Cartethyia showcase hit Twitter, everyone saw it at the same time. No test server watermark, no blurry repost from 3 days ago, no such thing as pre-release analysis with some guy guessing numbers off of leaks. It's just a raw moment, and I didn't realize how much I missed that until it happened. because most of the time, that feeling is long gone before it even has a chance. The moment something drip marketed, it is already leaked. The character design's gone, skill animations already posted. New region, some guy stitched together a minimap from a debug camera footage. And by the time the official trailer drops, you have already seen the bootleg version 5 times on Twitter. What was supposed to be the surprise just becomes confirmation. And yeah, leaks hurt developers, we have all heard that before. But the part we don't talk about enough is how much they actually hurt us. The players, the fans, the people who want to be surprised, want to get caught off guard, want to scream, "What was that?" Because you can't recreate that energy once it's gone. Because the hype doesn't hit the same when you already know what the twist. It is like walking into a movie already knowing who dies. I mean, you still enjoy the show, sure, but the tension, the rush, that magic, it's gone. And what is wild is that Kuro gets that. This wasn't just some anti-leak crackdown. This was a calculated move to take back control. Not to silence people, but to actually let us enjoy the reveal as intended. Together, unspoiled. And honestly, that is something gacha hasn't had in a while. Cartethyia wasn't just a character drop. It might have been a soft reboot for how these games handle hype. Instead of playing defense against leakers, Kuro flipped the script. They went on offense. And the craziest part, it worked not just in terms of engagement, but in terms of trust. Because now the community is talking about the reveal itself, not just the leak timeline or who posted it first. And that is a huge shift. It is not about locking down every bit of information forever. It is about owning the rollout, setting the tone, protecting the moment, and making sure the first time you see a character, it actually means something. If this becomes the new standard for gacha marketing, intentional reveals, collabs with big creators, surprise announcements that aren't spoiled days in advance, I don't think anyone is gonna complain, especially if it means we actually get to be excited again. So yeah, I think this might be the start of something different, but what do you think? Do you think Kuro Games handled this leak the right way, or was it too harsh? Would you prefer more surprise reveals like this instead of constant drip-fed leaks? Drop your thoughts below. But that is all from me, 𝗖cie𝗽𝘆𝗶𝗵𝗁, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!